All right, kiddos, this is our fourth project, and this is going to be one for SL and HL. And for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to call this Zoom project. And I'm going to use the Google slide, the Art Decathlon Google slide, so you can refer to this. But I am going to skip through some of this info. These are resources you guys can use and look at to provide you with more context for the project. But what I'm going to be talking about the most is just the objective and then the guidelines. So the objective basically is you're going to choose particular subject objects that you use, that you encounter that would potentially be considered as mundane. And you're going to focus on the value, texture, and kind of like the essence or essential qualities and characteristics of a particular everyday object. You can think of your task as making the ordinary extraordinary. So for this will be you'll be representing these through drawing and or painting. You'll kind of choose your medium and your platforms. But to give you some examples, the main artist that we're using is Romulo Celdran. He's a Spanish artist that works with scale and playing with scale and perception. And so these are all drawings or multimedia pieces, drawings and paintings. This one is of like a pill or a capsule, container, cartridge. That is something that we kind of use all the time. But by playing with scale, our perception of these objects changes quite dramatically. Like we notice different types of textures, we notice design qualities and features. Our relationship with these objects are quite different when we mess with scale. We decrease or increase scale, and so he's trying to challenge our perception of reality, and he's using different types of compositional techniques to make us question what it is we're really looking at. And this has been done a lot in film, in many art traditions. And so I think it's important for us to give this a shot as well. Another artist, Julia Randall, takes bubble gum and she kind of creates these sculptures from the gum that she chews. And these are actually done with color pencil, believe it or not. And these are kind of hyper-realist works. And she's kind of investigating the forms that are created by this very malleable substance that gum is, and then thinking about how that's a positive, negative relationship of something in your mouth, so that when it comes back out, you can see some of the teeth marks and the air that is inside or that you blow into the form coming out of your mouth into this like piece of gum is something she's also interested in exploring. So this would be another example that would work with our project. So let's go back to the guidelines. You're going to choose one medium to work with, and so in your process portfolio, you're going to actually play around with kind of figuring out what medium you're going to use, whether it's a type of paint or if it's graphite, charcoal, pencil, a mark making medium. Let's focus on that, doing this kind of by hand in some way. You're going to choose one color or tone to help you focus on value, and then you're going to choose your scale in terms of how large your work is, but then not how much you are zooming in or zooming out. I want to talk about compositions for a moment, which is your other guideline and focus. you're going to be able to choose what you're drawing on or painting on or working with. You're going to choose the amount of drawings that you create. So for example, in this composition, really thinking about positive and negative space with these clothespins that are kind of going off the page here, and playing with your objects and thinking about what are creative ways to photograph these, what are creative ways to compose these images. This is a big part of the work itself, and how you view the object is how you compose the image. So this is, you're also using photography skills with this assignment, because most likely you'll use a photographic reference. You may not, but most likely. This is an example of a diptych work that uses two compositions to maybe talk about comparisons or repetition, or maybe there's a relationship between two different objects you want to explore. Or you may do a multi-compositional piece where you're drawing the same object multiple times, looking at it from different scales, zooming in and out, making a lot of maybe smaller drawings with different platforms, and then investigating it in many different ways. You have complete freedom in terms of how large your work is and how many drawings you do, or how many compositions you create, or how long you spend on one particular drawing. This is really about you being independently investigating the object and how you want to represent it. So you have a lot of freedom there, but hopefully these guidelines help you focus and that fine balance between constraint and freedom. So that's just a quick explanation of our Zoom project. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with.